Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the talent written, coloring you see right here is like a little activity that I went ahead and put together. Is talking about is so far with names and signatures, and I'm sure it could be known as maybe like a little instruction manual for a few people here. But anyway, you got right here is that you have right here that I went ahead and you got my name right here, and then along with this, like you say, so far like little simple icon you say for the meaning you accept, and then of course you have right here is that so far as it's for like the definitions for the words. It's like for accept, or it's like, or it could be it's like maybe denial is something like that. Accept as in is that you're in an agreement. It's like for a contract and along with school, and then along with own words, and then like all courses, grade points. But of course that I can maybe go on for a half an hour maybe about the other stuff. But of course it's like that make the time short is that knowing whenever I was in school that I'm talking about a lot of times is that they would want you to put things in your own words. I remember that whenever I was in the third grade, it was that I remember that I learned how to write my address on an envelope, and of course that they still had that. And then not too much has changed since then, other than the fact about maybe the price of the postal stamps, and then of course with the way that the envelopes are used in mail. But other than that is that the return address, far as I can remember, has always been on the top left, and that where I was going was always in the center. And it's possible that some mailing envelopes may have it reversed to where that for the address for where it's going, more likely would show maybe on the bottom left or whatever you call it, or in the center, or that maybe the bottom right. Who knows what it is? But so far as talking about with signatures right here is that whenever I was in school, I would probably say that this right here, which I'm sure people, if you've seen that my previous videos, is that this right here would be what my signature would have looked like on my school desk there at my at the school I went to this couple of years ago. It's like it's Sean McGuire, that's McGuire, and I would probably say that's like go ahead and you say it's like for my middle initial will be S, and of course it's like for SEAN. And you got right here for my middle initial, and you have right here is my name, and I would probably say that write my name, that this right here would be what my handwriting looked like back whenever I was in grade school was. That I could probably say that I could probably tell you that my handwriting will look at about that, and I would probably say if I could remember what year this was, and go ahead and use see the green marker here. But I would probably say that if it was about March, this is probably what my handwriting looked like back then. I would probably say that I'll go ahead and pick a day in random, and I'll go ahead and say see here 08 of 1993 it was, so that will be let's see here March March 8th, 1993, and see here if I pick a time at random, I would say that this is usually how I would say the time. See here 4:15, say p.m. say in the evening. But anyway, you got the time detail right there. But other than that is that I remember that whenever I was in school that I had a pretty good large handwriting it was. And of course it's like, as you say with the points, it's like for whatever homework assignment or any type of activity that they would have you doing in school, a lot of times is that they would want you to write something about what you read about in the book, or if they want you to do an assignment or whatever you call it, homework assignment, or based on any type of project. But anything that you would probably maybe do like on a computer or whatever you call it is talking about with signatures goes. Is that they say that a lot of times it's like it works by just by the touch of a button to where you can perform is like for whatever agreement, for if you were to use like an educational program, reading program, or like a software program on the computer, that more likely that whenever you click accept, that more likely that whatever information that is like I guess I don't know about the day that whatever you call it was signed. I would probably say more likely it would automatically be printed on a receipt or whatever you call any type of contract form, is that that this will be like your signature. Other than writing it, then it would be the button would be is to click the button to be able to accept the contract. And a lot of times is that you probably say it don't require any type of signature, such as if but this is maybe what my signature looked like those couple years ago. It's like it's like kind of sloppy. It's like sloppy way of doing it. And of course is that I may have wrote my name kind of like that right there. If I remember it was kind of slanty, kind of like that. But other than that, is like you got the signature right there, and then along with it, so far as your own words of putting it, is pretty much is like a signature. A signature for an agreement. It's like more likely you say it's like for it's similar to like you say a handshake. It's like draw like a little symbol right here. It's like say for a handshake. Say shake somebody's hand. But anyway, you got the arm right there. It's like for a handshake. But other than that, it's like other than for the agreement, it could be before. It's like think about be back in '94, back in '93, '94, before I was even old enough, of course, to buy a car or anything like that, any type of software product. A lot of times, as they say that you had to be 18 or older to be able to call and order, some products. A lot of things, whatever you call it, you had to be 18 or older. Had to be 18 or older in order to be able to get an account online or whatever you call it. But then other than that, it was like with your signature right there. They could probably say that with your signature, that the button for accept is that the button that you would click on just to be able to say that accept, and more likely I guess say it's like a signature. And but for the talented written, say the exclamation right here is talking about is that back whenever I was in school, I used to be I was told those couple of years that my handwriting was neat but then big. But I remember that whenever I was a junior and senior in high school was that I remember that I had small handwriting at one time, that my handwriting was pretty small those couple of times. But then on your hand too, that I kind of enjoyed it. Is if I were to say that my name is Matthew McGuire. It's Matthew S. McGuire. And if anybody would ask me, it's like what do you like to do during your free time? It's like say for that for when you say for free time, is that is like I can go on the list, and one of those top things, of course, that one thing I like to do is so far is talent, and then of course I could go by voice, and then along with that is along with edit. Editing it is, and then of course it's like if I come up with the shape, it's like you say my favorite shape, other than you say anything that really anything compared to step 1 through 15 or whatever you call it. I have the whole category it is out of the steps. I would probably say that what's the most what is my favorite part about the whole steps. More likely I could probably say is more likely is so far with is that maybe about how the technology works, since I've always been would you say that type of person where I was big on electronics. I remember that a lot of the things that I wanted whenever I was young, of course, had something to do with electronics, and no matter if it was in an electronic or writing pad or whatever you call it, or would you say the glow for you writing utensil or whatever you call it. I would probably say that every year whenever I would go school shopping, that anything that I would probably be interested maybe is maybe a magnifying glass that would glow in the dark or whatever you call it, maybe something I was interested in. But other than that, is that the thing that the one school supply that I think that I did want, of course, maybe was something that was colorful. Other than that, it was something to do with maybe coloring art, talented supplies. It is about have that ability to where you can learn just by doing that something by what you call with something that you like to do, as which I would think that with most people that you can still learn stuff just by doing it, learning it your own way. But of course, on the other hand too, they used to say it's like between the state and the federal government, they'll probably say is that of course that so far is used to say is that you say that the access code, you say this, the access code it is, for whenever you file your taxes, of course, is that that requires, you say, it requires for you to be able to work with the system, of course, and then you'll have a temporary code provided to you. And if you say in order to be able to say for the job to be complete, and a lot of people will probably say so far with code is that with any type of code, it is not really a cheat code. Say if there is any type of cheat code, more likely I will probably say that more likely it may be pronounced as counterfeited. But other than that, it's like with any type of code, it is that you could probably say that it's got to work that certain way. It cannot be operated what you call your own secret artistic manual. It is. So if it's like this, like I guess you say if you wanted to make a key for yourself, it's like you say they could probably say to keep a note in mind for yourself for the next year or maybe in 3 years from now, of course, is to know about it's like for taking care, you say responsibilities or whatever you call it. That the key code more likely would be is to know is that that with any talented writing that you could probably think about is to know is that that whatever information that you need to be able to update, would you say whatever paperwork that you're working on, if you're filing your taxes online or paying the bill online, is to know that what the key more likely would be is to keep all the information that you need. You should say all memorized or programming on file. It's like for whenever you need it. But so far as the talented writing, and then I'll say if the artist talent is like for me, my name is like for between it's like from what I learned those couple years ago to what I know now, and then of course what I can remember. Of course, it's like for the teacher saying it's like the teacher would probably say that is like forget your credit score. And so the only way you would probably more likely go to what you call between 80 to 100% more likely if you do the requirements and then you do some of the recommendations. Other than that, is to try to do your best, to be able to get the job done. But other than that, it's like for the talented written signature, is like basically on your own words is known. It's like for me, as I say this, it's like for my name, it's like this, like the way you write my name now is like for Matty Mick 25. For that, it's like for with my signature goes, it's like for Matthew S. McGuire, and so far the talented written coloring.